PC エンジン512色スーパービジュアル6チャンネルリアルサウンドニューワールドを制覇する PC エンジン全開 NEC から
Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Meso Technical Series, the PC Engine Playhouse, where I take a look at some of my favorite PC Engine games of all time, both on the HuCard and the CD-ROM side. And I've talked about every single Cho Aniki game on my channel outside of the original, which you're seeing here. And when I say I love absurd shmups like this, I absolutely mean it. And I'm starting off the video with a Choo-Choo using his muscly arms to go down the track. You're not going to see it in any other game other than Cho Aniki, and that's why I love it so much. Before you get too far involved, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. If you feel so inclined and want to support our channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well, so I too can buy a muscly choo-choo train for my own personal time. But short of those jokes, this game is just absurd in nature. I'm not going to say it's one of the best shmups of all time, it is totally a competent B-tier shmup, but it has personality all over the place. It is weird, it is funky, it's got a great soundtrack, and it is the type of game that you will never forget playing once you play it once. And that's the great thing about the PC Engine. For every Soldier Blade there is a Cho Aniki, a game in the same genre that basically feels like it's made completely out of left field. This starts off the entire Cho Aniki series, which has a ton of games in it, and I think the first one is definitely one of the best. And if you want to move on in the series on PC Engine, Ai Cho Aniki is the sequel, and that just absurdly raises the weird factor up to basically 11. But this game is just a ton of fun. You have a smile on your face the entire time you're playing it, and you're wondering what the hell is actually going on in the game world itself. There is very little story here. It is a bodybuilding shmup. That's all you need to know. Shoot your bullets, hit the bad guys, and try not to get hit. It's simple to pick up and play, but just seeing what's going to happen next is where so much of the joy of Cho Aniki actually comes in. You have a samurai bird here. It comes from nowhere, riding what looks like a wooden jet ski with a jet on the bottom of it. I don't understand it, but I don't really need to know. And he comes back and starts shooting arrows out of his wings, and it is a fun time. And I will say that the bullet patterns here do give you a little bit of a challenge. This isn't going to be the hardest shmup ever. There's definitely some bosses in which there's areas on the screen you can just hang out and become completely invincible because they cannot shoot there, but you can hit them. But what this lacks in design finesse, it more than makes up for in sheer spectacle. I love this city area here with all these enemies flying around. You get the cityscape in the background glowing. It fades in, fades out, and you get a lot of good parallax scrolling to go along with the whole thing. If you take a close look at all of the different sprites, you will see just the sheer absurdity of everything going on. And I'm playing this on Mednafen to prove to you that you can play this game, enjoy it, and you don't need to spend a fortune on an original copy. But as the next train comes in, which looks way more like a spider than anything else, this game, I do not know how they come up with the ideas for it, but it is just absolutely amazing. Having a train pumped by humans with a spider leg on top of it that becomes then a craft that flies through the air, it is just amazing. But you will see here that the game can be relatively easy in the early areas. Getting hit here, you definitely have to look away and try to answer a text on your phone, which does happen to me sometimes. Otherwise, if you just pay attention to what you're doing, you're going to be totally fine through the first few areas. But as the game gets further on, it's definitely going to get more difficult. But again, this gigantic samurai comes up on the train tracks here and puts his hand on them and just starts to attack you. As you shoot him more, you're going to be able to actually kill him, but of course his ghost is going to come out and attack you, which looks like a man baby's face with these two fingers pointing into the screen. I don't get it, it doesn't make any sense, but damn it, I love playing it, and I think you're going to as well. If you ever played any of the Cho Aniki games, leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think about them, because I would be curious. They're mostly known for being bad games that are just very weird, but I'm here to tell you that underneath all the weirdness is a fun, competent shmup that is only added to the impact with all of the weird things you're seeing. Like gigantic horse chess pieces flying through space. Why is this happening? We have no idea. Do I care? Absolutely not. Am I amused by everything going on? 110%. And there is strategy in this game on how you navigate the screen as well, but what it's so much known for outside of the weirdness is an absolutely 10 out of 10 soundtrack, so go ahead and listen, I'll be back with more fun. I love that the soundtrack goes from a weird warbling operatic theme to steel drums and an island beat. I don't understand why that's happening whatsoever, but the music in this game and the entire Ai Cho Aniki series is outstanding. And of course you do get some fun cutscenes as well. This is actually the intro to the game, but I wanted to open up with some of the shmup action in and of itself. There is a tiny bit of story. You do need to speak Japanese and read it as well, but you can totally understand what's going on here. Muscly men have been freed, and now we have to fight that intergalactic spider-eyed monster up there. But that's the thing about Cho Aniki. The story does not matter whatsoever. You're not here for the narrative, you're here for the shmup, and you're here for the weird, and it delivers both in absolute spades. You have this three-handed beast coming towards you with three faces on each end. You have these fingers undulating. You have this dude holding something in his chin with a muscly figure on it shooting out laser beams. It only happens in Cho Aniki, and that is why it is so much fun. I know we've already done Proteus Die, which also has a very strange, absurd nature to it, but Cho Aniki takes that and absolutely runs with the weird factor and goes 10 times harder than something like Proteus Die ever could. Like this boss here, you have this gigantic skull anchor underwater with all of these rotating gears, and you need to shoot them out before you go up, and you see the silhouette of a woman taking a shower, but when the curtain actually comes up, it is an elderly Japanese man who is absolutely ripped, wearing a Speedo, flexing and shooting at you. That is Cho Aniki. There's no other way to say it. And this really muscly genre is a big staple in Japan. There's other games that utilize this. There's a game on the Wii that I did a video on a while ago that is a music rhythm game that also uses bodybuilders as the main theme, Muscle March. It is just something that the Japanese love as a theme, and it is so much fun. But look at that dude right there. He is shooting something by rubbing the side of a missile. I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm trying to imply here while being very polite for the algorithm. But honestly, it just doesn't make any sense. You have these spider crabs, you have these dudes rubbing off a missile, you have all of this different Victorian era architecture behind you, and then you have a giant land tank on a track going down the city. Why does any of it happen? Who cares? You just want to see it. And I will say the game does a lot of things with the PC Engine hardware as well. That mirror effect there as they all drop off, and it just shows you something on the PC Engine that you're not really used to seeing. Not only is this game weird, not only is it charming, and not only does it have one of my favorite PC Engine soundtracks of all time, but the developers definitely knew their way around the hardware and get things out of the hardware that not a lot of other people could. And they could also introduce some massive sprites. That is definitely just a dead zombified Elvis holding onto a fish below and having a gigantic Japanese pagoda above. Why? I have absolutely no idea. Shoot that pagoda and a dude with a gigantic cannon comes out and he's able to shoot at you. It is absurd, and the soundtrack for this area is so unique. Listen, and I'll be right back one more time. I mean, all of the audio is just so dramatic, and you would think the developers and the musician would have created something that sounded a little bit like Elvis music for the zombified Elvis fight, but they did not, and I kind of actually love that. And these giant knight helmets with these tiny individual dudes running around inside of them is also hilarious. Now you'll see that I've gotten later into the game, it's definitely going to be starting to get a little harder. I'm not going to say this is the hardest shmup on the PC Engine. If you practice maybe for a day or two, you can probably 100% 1cc this, but you're going to have so much fun the entire time, and the game definitely tricks you because you end up looking away at what you're actually doing just to see the new absurd design in front of you, which is a ton of fun. When you die, it's probably because you're looking at something like that giant knight helmet with the little dude running down on side of it. But that is the thing about Cho Aniki. It always has something to show you, it always has something to tell you, it always has something for you to marvel at, laugh at, and just kind of enjoy as you see it move around. Even this dude right here kind of looks like a rejected member from the Legion of Doom from the WWF, and I absolutely love it. But there's a lot to love the entire Cho Aniki series, and this is where the game gets its start on PC Engine. It's so famous for being weird, and no one ever loves to talk about the fact that it's also a competent shmup that does a lot of artistic strange things. Sure, I can't deny the fact that it is weird, it's 100% weird, but it's not just weird, and that's why I wanted to include it on this series. It's one of my favorite shmups on the PC Engine, even if it's not one of the PC Engine's best shmups. But short of that, I'll have a lot more shmups and a lot more PC Engine coming soon, but take my word for it, if you've never played Cho Aniki or Ai Cho Aniki, definitely check them out. But we'll see you next time. Bye bye.